Good evening.
Hello there.
How are you? I see there's two folks that have attended tonight. My name is Vance Shannon. I'm the Director of Entitlements for Quack Car Wash, and I'm doing the community outreach program that's required by the city of Suisun City. And just wanted to share a little bit about our project, hopefully answer some of your questions if you have, and we'll go from there. I just thought go from there. I would just like to make sure that everyone understands the meeting is being recorded for the purposes of the city, so that I can supply this video to them. Again, my name is Vance Shannon. I'd like to ask if everyone could mute their microphones for the time being. There'll be a time at the end where I can answer your questions and go through whatever you would like to talk about in more detail about the project. I'd like to start with a short video. It's about 3 minutes long. It really describes a lot about who we are and how we operate, and it'll kind of give you a good feel if you haven't seen or been to a Quack car wash in the past. I'll start that video now. Let me just ask quickly, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Sandra, can you see my screen? You're muted still, Sandra, and I ask you to do that. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, great, thank you. If you can mute again, I get a little echo from the phones being on, but there looks like another person joined the call. Can you announce yourself, please? B Tent, it looks like. You're on mute. Maybe you'd rather not, that's fine. Just wanted to let everybody know, once again, the video is being recorded, and we will start with a short video, and I'm gonna start that video now for you.
Since 2004, Quack Car Wash has been one of the largest and fastest growing car wash platforms in the United States. Quack is a founder-led, 100% express exterior car wash model, disrupting the car wash industry with a vision to be fast, clean, and loved everywhere. Quick service. Our team members are not only friendly, but skilled at getting customers through quickly, with average transaction times under 30 seconds. Getting the customer in, evaluating their need for a membership, and completing the membership enrollment or transaction. We are fast. Fast lanes. With each location designed for both high quality and high volume, the lines move quickly. 3-minute wash. When a customer enters our showroom, the car will be cleaned, shined, and dried in under 3 minutes. Clean. When your car shines on the outside, we smile on the inside. Clean car guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied, we'll rewash your car on the spot, inside and out. Free vacuums at most locations, and dash wipes help give luster to your car's inside too. Tidy team members and locations. Only are our locations a source of pride, ensuring a bright, clean, and comfortable environment. Our team members present themselves in a clean and tidy way. Each customer is greeted with a smile, clean white shirt and tie, allowing everyone to feel welcomed. Clean and green. We take pride in being environmentally friendly by conserving and recycling the water we use to wash your car. Loved. You love your car. We love helping you look good and making our communities better. Customer love. Everyone loves our adorable mascot, Quackles. Our customers also love our unlimited car wash memberships and free vacuums. Team member love. We invest in the dreams of our team members and teach them life and leadership skills to help them learn and grow, surrounded by a strong culture of smart, kind, and driven people and value. Community love. We partner with schools, community groups, and charitable organizations with creative sponsorships and fundraisers, including more than 330 special fundraisers over the past 5 years. Everywhere. Quack is conveniently located with multiple locations serving our communities, adding even more value to our unlimited car wash memberships, and growing quickly with dedicated real estate development and construction teams comprised of internal and external experts and processes, allowing us to move faster than the competition. Quick Quack has vertically integrated into proprietary software solutions and digital offerings like license plate recognition, as well as state-of-the-art car wash equipment manufacturing and R&D. We could not be more excited about our future and remain committed to our mission of changing lives for the better and ensuring our customers don't drive dirty.
That hopefully gives you just an idea of kind of how we operate, what our stores look like, and that kind of thing. Probably more than I can say in 3 minutes, so I like to share the video. I have a short presentation to present to everybody, and then, like I said, I'll open it up to any questions you might have. So Quick Quack is a membership-based express car wash. The video is a little bit older. It's actually not that old, but yet we have 320 stores approximately now. I think it said 200 in the video. So we're growing very, very rapidly. We're in the western part of the United States right now and have plans to grow throughout the entire United States. We're the 4th largest car wash in the nation. We have 1.4 million members that belong to the Quick Quack membership that allows them to wash their cars at any one of our locations anytime they want to. We are all about saving time and water and money. Our cars are our second most expensive investment next to our homes, and some people it's their most expensive investment, and it's important, I think, to keep them clean, and a lot of people agree with that. And it's an easy, quick way to do that in an environmentally friendly way. So that's just a little overview. This is a overview Google Earth of the site location. The site location is here. You're probably from Suisun City and recognize the area. This is where your big Black Bear Diner is. In Shape Fitness and Subway are over here. You've got a Chevron gas station here. This is the 7-Eleven gas station here. And we'll be right back behind. And over here to the east is the Tractor Supply animal feed store. Gives you kind of an idea of where we're located. This is a site plan and a landscape plan. We like to have a robust landscape element to our projects. It just enhances the beauty of the community and so forth. And as you can see in the previous picture, just a piece of raw land right now. There's nothing developed on it. So this is the landscape plan. We're going to have some trees and plantings around the perimeter of the project site. A lot of them up front as well. And then the wash is here in the middle. So in this particular location, we're going to come in off of Sunset Center and turn into the wash. There are 2 queue lanes. And as I mentioned, and they mentioned in the video, about 80% of our customers are members. Obviously, folks that are not members are more than welcome to wash their car at Quick Quack Car Wash. We have 2 lanes for queuing. The lane on the outside is dedicated to members, where when they approach the gates that are up front here, the license plate reader that is installed will read their license plate. It will open the gate for them and let them through without stopping and basically paying or doing any kind of transaction at what we call the quarterback station. The quarterback station is there for paying customers, where the team member that is working at that station will collect the payments for the non-members to go through. And they're typically using this inside lane. A member can use both lanes, and both lanes have the license plate reader. It's just quicker for them usually to go through their own lane for their license plate reader. And what that does is it really limits and expedites our queuing lines. I'm sure you've probably seen a Quick Quack, an In-N-Out Burger or a Dutch Brothers that will queue clear out onto the roadway and cause a traffic problem. We don't have that because you're not going up to one window and ordering, say, your food if it's a fast food restaurant. Then you're going to a second window, you're paying. Then you're going to a third window and you're picking up your order. Those orders all differ. There might be a large family. There might be just one person. So it's a variety of different time lengths and timelines to go through. When we get into the wash itself, you're on a conveyor and it pulls your car through the wash. That conveyor system is consistent. So there's never a difference between one order, if you will, like in a fast food facility, and in our, as they go through the wash. They're all very consistent. So it's about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get through the wash. And you exit the wash on this side, on the what would be west side of the property, and you come around, and their vacuum stalls are here along the northern side of the project. They're free for use of our customers. You do not have to use them, and you can just exit if you choose, or you can come into one of the vacuum stalls and take advantage of the free vacuums. The vacuums are a little different than you see at a lot of car washes, where the vacuum motor itself is in an enclosure down here at the end, and it's a producer that is plumbed kind of like a whole house vacuum, if you will, but much more robust to all of the different stations. So there's not canister vacs at each one of the stations, and that reduces the sound, and it's a significantly more powerful vacuum cleaner than you might see on the other type of car washes that might be attached to a gas station and so forth, and that use the canister vacs. Over here on the southern side, in the queue lane, in the first queue lane, these three boxes, if you will, are the reclamation tanks. And I'll share a little bit more about how we reclaim all of our water and recycle it and reuse it. And that goes to the environmentally friendly side of Quick Quack. We have the EPA highly recommends using professional car washes I'm letting another person to the call. Because of the water savings. I'll get into the environmentally friendly and the recycling and reclamation of the water here in just a minute. This is an elevation view of the entrance where we go through, and this is kind of our branding look and color archway that we come through in the entrance. There's a team member that's inside the wash when you first enter it to help guide you onto the track, and then they also spray a solution for the bugs on the front of the car that help to clean the bugs off as they go through the wash. This is a profile side of the west elevation, I believe. You'll notice it's quite articulate in vertically and horizontally, where we have different elevations. This is what we call our tower side. We have different materials. You can see the arch in the front is not only an arch, but it's angular and gives it some dynamic. And the one in the front, I should say, and that's just the one that's in the back. This is a stone finish. It's a CMU split face block finish on the bottom. It's a honed CMU block in the middle, and then stucco on the top. And I'll share with you this is another view of the exit, similar to the entrance. With the arch, but this gives you a better perspective. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had 3 of them or 4 of them. This is another elevation of just simply the other side of the building. But this will give you a better perspective, and that's kind of what I was trying to get to, where this is not this location. We haven't done a rendering yet for it, but this gives you a very good idea of what a Quick Quack looks like in real life, if you will. This is a perspective, it's a drawing, it's a rendering. Quite amazing to me that they can make them look so real. But this one has 3 queuing lines, as you see, and the cars come in. This is where I was explaining the gates are that let the membership through. The quarterback station here is what we call an attached quarterback station. And that's where the gentleman or gal that's taking the payments for the non-members as they enter through the car wash, and they'll go around, come through the wash and exit. And it's the same configuration essentially, where the vacuum stalls are to the right and the exits to the left. This one happens to have 2 banks of vacuum stalls. The one in Suisun City is just going to have 1. It all depends on the size of the property and how we configure them. This is another perspective view of it. Just gives you a feel for how it kind of looks at the entrance. This other one was of the exit coming out, and this is of the entrance going in. gives you a kind of a better perspective of the quarterback station and the awnings that cover the cars as they approach the gates for the license plate reader. I was mentioning earlier the water conservation. It's really important to consider when you wash your car in your driveway, you'll use approximately 100 gallons of water. All that water, soaps, detergents, whatever it is the person's using to wash their car goes into the stormwater system, which obviously goes to our lakes and our rivers and our streams and ultimately into the ocean. And it's just not an environmentally friendly environment to do that and to wash your car at home. When we wash the car, we take all of the water that's used in the wash and it goes into a central trench. And from that central trench, it goes into those 3 tanks I was spotting you on the drawing that will filter out all of these oils and dirts and totally dissolved solids until they can get it back into the system. It runs through some more conditioning and then it goes back into the wash. We end up using about 25 gallons of water per car as opposed to up to 100 when you wash it in your driveway. And then even beyond that, that water all goes into the stormwater system. Excuse me, it goes into the sewer system, not into the stormwater system. And it is all then, obviously reclaimed through the city water treatment plants and so forth, as opposed to being dumped into the lakes, rivers, and oceans. So it's a big advantage when it comes to the environmentally friendly aspects of it. And again, like I mentioned, the EPA highly recommends using a professional car wash, and it's what we do. It's what we specialize in. We focus solely on washing cars. We have facilities, one we're just building now, one we have that's already up and operational, that is a research and development center. We have several engineers that are developing new products and new ways of washing the car all the time. The new facility that we're building right now, it's actually being permitted, it's not being constructed just yet, is called our Innovation Center. And what they do there is they have 3 washes inside an industrial building that is surrounded by offices and glass windows where they can observe how the washes are operating. They can develop new products, new parts, new soaps and so forth to use and test them thoroughly in the wash before they're actually implemented into a store. And currently the only way we can do that is a brand new store that's being open. And it makes it very difficult to do long-term studies and that kind of thing. And so it's a really exciting time for us where we can really improve and make the wash even better than it is now. But back to the water conservation, again, we filter, really the reason it's only 98% of the water is because some of the water that you leave as you exit the wash will drip off the car itself, and that's obviously not able to be captured. Like I mentioned, 20 to 25 gallons per vehicle. I already talked about the comparison to when you wash your car in the driveway. And again, we don't know what they're using to wash their car in the driveway, so we don't know what's going into the storm system. In ours facilities, all of our soaps and detergents are water soluble, they're biodegradable and environmentally friendly. And if everybody doesn't know, this is Quackles, our little mascot here. Minimizing sound, it's important that we be a good neighbor, so we go to extremes to ensure that we meet code and the local ordinance for the sound emissions. We have a group that does all of our sound studies and reports. They're a very extensive, robust report that they put together where they're measuring the ambient sounds that are already in existence. They're measuring what sounds we're producing, and they put that all together in a model. And they're very, very accurate. I can assure you that any one of the reports that we have, when it is actually built and put into operation, will be measured precisely what they've suggested it would in their modeling. And it's important to us to do that. We have a lot of different mitigation measures that we can use to ensure that we can meet the ordinance, all the city different zones that they might have. All of the different jurisdictions have different sound ordinances and codes that we have to comply with. So we have to be flexible in what we can produce and what we do as far as the mitigation goes. And then one of the really important things about Quick Quack, and something that we're very, very serious about, is changing lives for the better. A lot of that is within the company. I think we have about 5,000 employees or more now, and we strive to help them, whether it's in education, whether it's in finance, and learning how to save money and invest money. There's a lot of that kind of work going on beyond what you saw in the video. I don't know if you noticed the small wash that was in the video. That was a young man that was, he's severely handicapped, and he had a make-a-wish to go to Disneyland. And he did go, but he didn't have fun because it overloaded his sensories, motor skills and things like that. And it just was not fun for him. He didn't enjoy it. So we came in and we actually built a full-blown car wash in his backyard. It's a miniature version. Inside of it, it is a kind of a dance floor, music, bubbles. So it's really fun for the kids, and he absolutely loves it. And the reason he wanted the car wash, or got the car wash in his backyard, is because he loved to go to the car wash with his parents so much. And that is a big part of it. It's fun. We do a lot of fun things for kids. I know that when my daughter was growing up, I would take her every Sunday, and she absolutely loved to go and look out the window at the different color soaps and the image that's projected onto your front window as you go through. And sometimes during the different seasons or holidays, like Halloween, for example, they have video games that kids can play with inside the wash as they're going through, and they're kind of squirting witches and goblins with water in an app on their phone, and it just makes it kind of fun. I think the kids convince their parents to go to the wash more than the parents would just go on their own normally. These are some of the sponsors that are some of the charitable donation companies and stuff that we work with to help them out. There's just so much of it. These pages could go on forever. And that's really the conclusion of my presentation. And I would like to just be able to open it up to any kind of questions you might have, or anything that we talked about, or if there was something we didn't talk about that you wanted to. I'm happy to answer your questions the best I can.
So, question for you. Quick Quack. The folks they're almost everywhere. Is there a reason why you wanted to come into Sisson City? And there's a car wash already?
You know, we have a very robust real estate property evaluation team that I'm not a part of, so it's hard. I don't know all of what they look at. I know they look at traffic. I know they look at the surrounding uses and what's around, but they're very, very accurate. We usually glean about 3,000 to 5,000 new members per every store that we open. And we just want to be as conveniently located as we can, especially being a membership-based car wash. We want people to not have to drive to the car wash, but yet drive by the car wash when they're on their way to school or work or what have you. And we also have tools that we use, Jason, that evaluate where our customers are coming from. Because we use the license plate reader, we can tell where they're coming from typically as they sign up to be a member. And we can see that, for example, maybe folks in Sisson City are driving to the next town where there is a car wash, a Quick Quack that they can use, and we're trying to be able to put it in place where it's very convenient for them, and they don't have to travel for it. So we oftentimes have some that are relatively close to our own, kind of like you'll see at a Starbucks. You can see I live in a small town of 14,000 people, and I can stand at one Starbucks and look and see across the street another one in two different locations in that small town. So it's just the way they evaluate the need and what they feel like the store will produce as far as traffic.
I can understand a Starbucks and a Starbucks and a Quick Quack and a Quick Quack, but are you folks being responsible to other businesses in the area without much diversity here. And that's all the discussion that we have going on in Facebook, asking why is there no diversity? We're getting the same thing over and over again. How do you answer that?
Well, as I mentioned, it's really the real estate group and where we decide we think will do good. We're certainly not going to put out, the $4, $5, $6 million that it takes to put one of these stores together at risk and not have business. When it comes to competition, it's been shown that competition drives a lot of things. It drives better pricing, it drives better quality. So it used to be that someone would find that a Starbucks moves in next to their smaller coffee shop and they're fearful that, it's going to take all their business. And it actually doesn't. It actually adds to their business because it's that competition thing. They may be cheaper, they may be faster. So, I'm sure that there are other washes. We compete with other washes all the time. They compete with us. People have their favorites. They have their preferences of where they want to go. And so it shouldn't be something that's frowned upon. I think that competition is a positive thing in today's environment, anywhere and everywhere for all businesses. Having just one conglomerate that has all of the footprint is really probably not the best. Hopefully that answered your question, Jason. Were there any other questions? I'm happy to answer any questions or anything I didn't cover. Everyone's on mute if you're trying to ask a question.
Hi, this is Brent. Yeah, I'm wanting to know on your particular sites, for example, like the Sassoon site, how many employees do you plan on having work there?
Thanks for the question, Brent. We usually hire about 15 employees per new store that we open. Usually 2 to 4 are on staff at any one time. The one thing I always like to share is that there's really wonderful opportunities at Quick Quack Car Wash. The chief development officer for our company started running a store, and now he's the chief development officer. So there's significant room for growth and for moving up the ladder, if you will. But those are the numbers typically per store. And the nice thing is we like to hire locally so that people can either ride their bike or walk or be close to the facility. So it would inspire some applicants from, I would think, the local community there.
Another question for you, Vance. So what is the time frame as of today? Because I know this hasn't gone through the planning commission, it hasn't gone through city council. What are we looking at for like start to finish on your guys' end right now?
Sure. Good question. I don't believe we have to go to city council. I believe it's just planning commission for this particular site. Usually it requires a zone change or something of that nature or a plot plan to require us to go through city council. But nonetheless, we're probably halfway through planning. I would say we have another 4 months, 3 months before we get to a hearing. I'm hoping it can be a little better than that, but I'm just going to put that on the table. Probably 3 to 4 months to get through the hearing process, get approved. The building permit process is probably 7 to 9 months. Typically these days we're seeing, and then we would start construction right thereafter, and that's about 6 months to construct.
And then obviously that within that area right there, there's a lot of traffic, as you probably know, along with your developers know, everything from the post office being right there, the 2 gas stations, that alleyway being used as a thoroughfare from either 12 or Sunset Center to get over onto Widgeon. And then there's also plans of putting a Dutch Bros within that area as well. So what concerns on that have been put on the table for you guys' developing crew to kind of lay out the plan like you showed us on the map?
Right. So we've done a traffic study for one to demonstrate that the capacity is there, and really, Brent, we're what's considered a pass by. About 50% of our customers, if not more nowadays, are pass by. It's convenience thing, and that's why, kind of to answer Jason's question, we have so many of them. We don't want people to drive to the car wash. We want them to be driving by the car wash, and just stop in, whether they're going to get groceries or taking their kids to school or what have you. So we really don't anticipate a significant increase in traffic. We don't. Wish we did, but we don't do the kind of traffic that a Dutch Brothers. I would be more concerned with them than us, where they do attract a significant amount of traffic. An In-N-Out Burger, same thing. We just don't do those same kind of volumes. And again, because it's a pass by, in other words, people are going somewhere else. They're already on the way somewhere else, and would be there anyway. So there should not be, and we've demonstrated through our traffic study that there won't be a negative impact or significant impact to traffic.
All right. Well, I appreciate your answers on that. And I mean, we definitely need something in that area there, and hopefully your guys' business can be something that will do exactly what you guys are wanting to do, as well as helping the community, and with your community involvement. Hopefully that's a positive for everybody in that area.
Thank you for mentioning that too, Brent. You know, I'll tee off that just a little bit. You know, every store we open, the first day of grand opening, we've gone out and we found either a family or a group or someone in need. We do not charge for the car wash that first day. We have that family, that program or that charter help us promote the grand opening, and then we ask for donations. And at the end of the day, we end up doubling the amount of money that we received in donations and provide that to that family or that foundation. And there's been times where it's significant money that we end up being able to help someone out with. Just this last weekend, we took a group of at-risk children through our Center of Excellence and gave them a little tour of the Center of Excellence, tour of a store, and just try to share with them the different opportunities that are not only at Quick Quack, but just within engineering and within design. We had an architect speak to them for a little while. We like to do things like that, and it is a great opportunity for the community, and we do like to work within the local communities that we're in. And hire within the local community some of the younger people. It's obviously kind of more or less a starter job, and there's opportunity for people to be employed. And then we are the catalyst a lot of times for more development, and kind of enrich the neighborhood and bring in more businesses that the community would like to see.
Let me ask you a question regarding traffic. You said there's not a whole lot of traffic, but it's more of a convenience here. How many cars do you plan to wash? I mean, compared to what do you have next door? Next door is Dutch Bros, so they spill traffic to the street and such as what we see, like In-N-Out. So how do you say that you may not spill traffic, or it's not too much traffic in the alleyway there?
Sure, and that's a good question. Dutch Brothers, In-N-Out Burger have kind of made it difficult for us. We're very different, as I mentioned. First of all, it's the license plate readers that keep our queue lines moving quickly, and it's the fact that that people aren't placing different orders that take different times to cook. They're not going to 3 different windows, one to order, one to pay, one to pick up their food. It's a lot longer process. So their queue lines can get very long. Ours, because we're a membership-based car wash, as I mentioned earlier, and because we use license plate readers, those gates, that when the car pulls up, that's a member, it just sees their license plate, it opens, they drive onto the conveyor, and it takes them through consistently at about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So it's really almost like the street lights that you see on a freeway on-ramp that's regulating the traffic. It just kind of keeps it in a smooth pattern. Again, because we're a membership based. It's going to be local traffic. It's going to be pass bys. It's not going to be nearly as many folks just going to the restaurant or what have you and making that their destination. It's a part of where they're going that they can stop in and get their car washed. And then, like I said, we did do a traffic study to ensure that we wouldn't impede traffic, and that we have to do queuing studies and a lot of that different homework in order to demonstrate to the jurisdiction that we would comply, and that we won't do what a Dutch Brothers or In-N-Out Burger has been kind of known to do in the past. And they're getting much better. They're doing a much better job at having much longer and much more robust queuing lines. And we usually see about 450 cars a day at max, and theirs are far higher numbers than that. We wish we did, but we don't.
What are the hours of a normal Quick Quack?
Across the board, and we, like I said, we have about 340 stores now, 320 stores, excuse me, now, and there's it's about I would say the hours are consistent across the board from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. There are a few, I was going to say, that deviate from that, but it makes it difficult for us. And our standard is 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah. So that's good hours. And I do understand the like sharing the same parking lot per se anywhere with like an In-N-Out. Obviously, In-N-Out has a line from 10 until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Where Dutch Bros has a line usually on their sticker day, which is at 5 a.m. in the morning till about 8. And then if they do a 3 in the afternoon thing. So their lines may be long for maybe an hour at the most, but after that, they're pretty well just a, in and out flow. So I think that area you guys will be in should be sufficient, way more than sufficient enough for handling both you guys' businesses.
I appreciate that, and it will be. The operation runs very efficiently. We actually did a study. We've done many studies, but we did one that was impressive, where we counted cars every 5 minutes in line, and we did that on a Saturday at kind of our busiest time, which is around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And while there was 100 cars that went through during that period of time, the longest line was 2 cars. Now, there could have been more cars at one point, but it just shows how quickly we moved them through. And as we counted every 5 minutes how many cars there were no more than 2 at a time. So we move those lines very quickly. And I don't think you're going to see, well, I know you won't see anywhere near the congestion and the backup that you see at maybe like I said, an In-N-Out Burger, and they're just good examples. It's made it very difficult for us. But in the past, we didn't have opportunity many times to do a queuing study, and now we're asked to do them almost on every project, just to demonstrate that we have our queuing together and that we will not back out onto the roadway.
Yeah, no, I've seen you guys' ability to work with a In-N-Out, which is down there in Burlingame, down by the airport, San Francisco airport, down there by the In-N-Out. There's a Quick Quack right there, and it's there's like no queue line, but you guys are able to get everybody through. So that's obviously you guys do have it down. So appreciate that.
Thank you. We work really hard at that, and it's important to us, because it's membership based. We don't want someone to drive up, see that it's a big line, and leave. That's just not a good customer experience. So it's important as much as it is for the community and the traffic around us, and us to not be queuing and having long lines.
And on your memberships, do you have month to month, or do you have 6 months, or 1 year? What is your membership plans?
Just monthly. It's monthly. There's 3 different tiers. A basic wash, then a wash that adds the tire shine, and then a wash that adds the ceramic coating. So they're just a little bit different tiers of wash, and there's 3 of them. But it's a monthly subscription. Can cancel and re-sign up at any time, and then you get discounts for multiple cars as well. Any other questions? Happy to answer them, as many as you got. Sandra, Bill, you have any questions? You guys are on mute. Well, if there's no more questions, I think we can conclude. I think it's going to be a great project. It's going to.
I do have a question. There's another car wash on the other side of 12. Pretty elaborate car wash, very similar to the one that you're proposing. How do you view that as competition?
Well, as I talked about a little bit earlier, competition is a good thing. It should not be looked at negatively. Obviously, their process, I'm not sure if it's a full service or if it's an express car wash like ours.
That's an express car wash, very similar to what you're building.
Okay. The level, the things that competition drives is pricing. It drives quality and those kind of things. And I think I talked about it earlier where, in the past, people that might have a small coffee shop would see a Starbucks come in and they would panic and think, oh gosh, they're going to take all my business. And it's just not necessarily the case. Sometimes they glean some of our customers. Sometimes we glean some of their customers. And it just promotes quality business. It promotes cleanliness. It promotes a quality car wash. And pricing. So all of that is driven through good competition. We're not worried about them. We end up, we have 1.4 million members, so we have a really strong base, and we people that like Quick Quack, and I'm not sure if that's what brand of car wash that is, but the folks that are probably members there are very happy with it and enjoy that car wash, and they're fans of whatever car wash that is.
Okay, but there's also some gas station car washes in that general area. I think there's about 4 of them. It just seemed like that area would be, with you guys going in there, there would be overabundance of car washes and less diversity of things for the residents of Sassoon.
Again, we glean about 3,000 to 5,000 members per new wash, so we're not afraid of saturation. It's not. It seems, that there may be a lot of car washes in the area, but when you talk about the gas station car washes, with all due respect, they're not even car washes. I mean, it's not anywhere near. It's like the difference between a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and a McDonald's being across the street. They're just so very different from one another. The gas station car wash is really more of a promotion to get folks to come in and buy their gas, and they get an inexpensive car wash, but it's not a quality car wash, and it's not even remotely similar to what we do. The express car wash that you described seems to be similar, but just like you see where you can go on almost any street corner in a downtown area and see 4 fast food restaurants, 1 on each corner, or 4 gas stations, 1 on each corner. People like variety. People like to be able to have a choice. And again, it drives competition. I know just down the street from my home are 4 or 5 gas stations within a block of each other, and you shop and you find the ones that sell you the gas the cheapest, and that's where I tend to go. But they all seem to do well. They all seem to bring in their customers. I think some people have cards that are applicable to a certain gas station, so they want to use that to get their points and that kind of thing. But when it comes to the gas station car washes, it's just a very different animal altogether.
Okay, well, I appreciate your response. The other thing that comes to mind is the city of Sassoon has severe budget problems. It's always in the paper. There's potholes to be filled. What kind of tax revenue would the city be able to bring in on another Quick Quack car wash versus having something more retail where the city could actually bring in revenue to help pay for some of the deficits that it's seeing?
Yeah, we don't pay sales tax because it's a service, but there's the employees are paying state tax and that kind of thing. I know that's the state, not the city. We do pay property tax. Obviously, that property tax is going to be improved and be significantly more property tax than it was as just a piece of raw land. So that's really where the tax base is going to come from for a business like ours.
there's another retail Tractor Supply over there.
Right.
I would think that a business like Tractor Supply would bring in more tax revenue to Suisun City that drastically needs revenue coming in, more retail.
It's very possible. It's typically not in the purview of the planning commission and for them to run the city on that the business, they have to, let the business drive business and consumers drive business and what they want and what their companies are willing to build and to put the risk into building a facility. Right now that there's no taxes being generated, well, very little taxes on a piece of raw land. And it's also going to inspire, we oftentimes are the catalyst for other quality businesses to come into play in the local area. There's other, we're not taking up that entire raw land piece. It's only a small part of it. So there's room for others and there's room for growth and other business that want to bring their business in and hopefully we'll be the catalyst that helps them to do that.
Okay, appreciate your response.
Yes, sir. You're the only one, Sandra, that hasn't had a question. Happy to answer any questions you might have. All right, and unless there is anything else, I appreciate you guys joining. I hope you learned a little bit about Quack Quack. If you hadn't seen one or been to one before, hopefully you'll have an opportunity to go to one. It's going to be a great, I think, addition to the city. I think it's going to be a service that people do really like. We've proven that out with our 1.4 million members. And so I appreciate you joining and look forward to having you there at the car wash as members.